to Conversations with Ears. So today we are with a very special guest. I don't know if any one of us have read Rick Warren's book called The Purpose Driven Life, where we are taught how to live our life purposely, where we know it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to live it day by day. Now, this my special guest has lived that life and is living that life of purpose. His name is Ola Adesonya.
Thank you very much.
So he is also a podcaster.
That's right.
Yes, he's a podcaster, Real Happy Our podcast. And he's also a youth advocate. You can imagine, those two combinations. And his podcast is about, relational dynamics of movies. I love movies. I absolutely love movies. So yes, he's also a public speaker. Yes, he's also a public speaker. He gives his voice, he lends his voice to people who don't have a voice, because he believes that everyone should speak up for themselves. He believes that everyone should be able to to bring or drive out conversations that helps them to be who they are meant to be. So he also believes that your voice should not be shrunk at all. So welcome once again, Mr. Ola.
Thank you very much. That's a very beautiful introduction. Thank you very much. I need to be hearing that every day just to remind myself of who I am. Thank you.
Now, when it comes to living a life of purpose, now when people see you now, right, they'll think, I want to live like you. I want to be like you. I want to live that purposeful life that you are living right now. But it must have taken you something to get there. So what was that shift for you?
I think if anyone looks at me now and thinks, I would like to be in your position, grateful to hear that. But obviously, there's always a journey there's always a story to everyone's journey. And I think with my story to getting to where I am now, it's about overcoming a lot of obstacles. And I think in my life, not even thinking, just looking back at my life, there's a lot of self-limiting obstacles. So obviously, I'm Nigerian. I came to the UK to study. And I think one of the first barriers I had was just that identity of being a Black African in the UK and just navigating that space of where do I exist, and not necessarily knowing who I was at the time, in the sense of everyone is just British and British speaking, and I'm very Nigerian with a very strong Nigerian accent. And it's different when you feel like you're in Nigeria and you have a sense of privilege in Nigeria, but then when you go to a completely different Western country and it's a different level of classism that's on there, and you're not seen as anyone but that African, person. And so it was a bit difficult. And so it was a struggle for me to sort of identify, sort of know who I was and be able to present who I was. And so that led to a lot of self-limiting beliefs. I just felt like I was just not enough. And it took a lot of time, but I think having a good circle of people around you, that was also very helpful. They helped me remind myself of who I was, and also self-educating myself, because it's good to have people around you that support you, but how did I actually build the confidence that I have now? I read a lot of books. I watched a lot of conversations from people that inspire me, and I then started to focus on things that I was passionate about. When you start to move with intentionality in the things that you believe that you are meant to do, that gives you a sense of confidence. And it might be difficult, and it was difficult for me to even navigate the spaces that I felt that I was meant to be. I've always wanted to be a journalist, and studying journalism, getting a master's and all of that. Despite doing all of that, it was difficult. However, finding a voice within creating something for myself, it gave me the confidence, because I didn't always have the opportunity to be at the organizations I wanted to be, meet the people I wanted to be. And because of that, I decided, okay, let me do something. Let me express my creativity. Let me express myself. And through that, I've been able to make amazing connections. I've been able to achieve some of the things I never thought I would achieve. And I'm still looking forward to achieving a lot more.
You mentioned that when you first moved here, yeah, when you first moved from Nigeria to the UK. Okay, can you tell us one culture shock you got when you first moved here? Because anyone who moved to a new country definitely has one call. What was that one?
I think one of the first funny situations I had was in class.
Mm.
I had a white lecturer, journalism lecturer, and I was like, "Yes, sir," and he was like, "Wait, what do you mean? What is that?" I said, "Yeah, yes, sir. Like, thank you, sir. Like, that's normal.
Oh
Like, that's
yeah,
how you
because
relate.
that's
All
because
that
respect. Yeah,
exactly. I
that's
mean,
true.
Nigerian Yoruba boy, and that is we carry down our head. Like, respect is such a big thing for us, and I thought it was completely normal, and then he had to be like,
Mm.
"No, don't call me." Like, it was such a funny conversation, and so that was one of the cultural shocks I had that I can think of now. I'm sure there's so many,
Mm.
but that's the first one that pops in my head.
Okay. So if you have to describe yourself, your old version of yourself, what would that be?
Old version of myself, I was not confident in myself. I was very, very timid. And it's very funny being a very tall black man. Like you
Wait.
stick
How
out.
tall are you?
I'm 6'4" now.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I've always been the tallest, like right from primary school, secondary school, and then coming to the UK. Like I was just always the tallest guy. But it was a very funny like thing to put into context of because
Yeah.
I'm this tall guy that's also very calm speaking and tall, and at the same time, it's so funny, because they say a lot of the time people that are really shy is because they want to be really seen, like they want to be. You use the opposite. It's that opposite. Like you want to shine, and I was that kind of kid growing up. I always wanted to shine in high school. Okay, another important fact is because high school, I was in high school for 6 years,
Okay.
and I was with the same set of people. So coming to the UK and not knowing how to even make friends, I didn't know how to make new friends, and so that was also a part of like the not having confidence and being timid because I just didn't know how to like
Yeah.
because it's like you're in a whole new place, and so that's how I would describe myself.
Okay. Okay. So what was the biggest lies you believed about yourself back then?
Funny enough, back then, it's interesting how people project their reality on you. And for a very, very long time, I was not really living my reality. I was living the reality that was projected upon me because I acted a certain way, because I spoke a certain way. So people projected who they thought I was on me. And me, as a sponge, I took it all on. I wore it, and I wore it with like happiness, not knowing that was not who I was. And so it took a lot of time and a lot of solitary thinking and keeping myself by myself to think and evaluate and and project who I am to the world, because finding who you are, I feel like you almost always have a version of who you are or who you want to be in your head. And so breaking out of the projections people placed on me and becoming who I saw myself as, which is an ongoing journey, because you don't finally come to a point where you're like, okay, this is me now, boom. No. I think you have to sort of give yourself the grace of change, because the only constant in life is change.
Is it that, okay, have you got like a perceived, like for example, there's a perceived version of who you are to yourself, and there's also a perceived version of what other people think of you.
Yeah.
So which do you think is much more, which one shines more when it comes to you?
I think who I want myself to be, or who I think of myself is the biggest priority for me. I don't care about what people expect of me or what they think I should be. However, I remember also growing up, there was in my for whatever reason, there was always this expectation of, oh, Olamide, you will be the successful one, you'll be the rich one. Like for whatever reason, I think I just had this. I was just proud for I didn't have anything. I don't. There was just this weird way I carried myself back then, and it's now coming to terms of, okay, I mean, I like elements of projecting like I am successful. I like elements of projecting that I have what I need, but you also have to be realistic and be honest with yourself and project your truth. because that's also really important.
Okay. Okay. Now, those beliefs you had,
Hmm.
where did you think it came from? Is it from your family, from your environment?
Definitely, it came from family. It came
Okay.
from content on TV because I
Mm.
used to watch a lot of TV. So
Okay.
it came from that. That's basic social studies.
Mm.
It came from school. It came from family.
Mm-hmm.
It came from content I was consuming, and you try to marry all those things together.
Mm.
And as a child, you don't really know who you are. I don't think you
True.
even know who you are until you're like your late 20s.
Mm.
I feel like now I'm in my mid 30s now,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like, oh, finally, I I have an idea. Like I am,
You have an idea of
I
what?
have,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I know that there's still so much more to
Yes,
come that I
definitely.
am just going to be so
Mm-hmm.
surprised
Yeah.
by.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm. This point where you tell yourself, I can't be living like this.
yeah,
I need to do something.
yeah.
What was that
I've
point
had
for you?
two moments like that in my life.
Hmm.
I had that in my mid to early 20s
Okay.
and my early 30s. In my mid to early 20s, that was when I was still fresh in the UK, and
Okay.
there's a point where I kind of lost my way, and it was my family that helped bring me back. And one of
Okay.
the things I really appreciate was my dad telling me like, "Ola, you're lost right now, but I believe if you go back to things that brought you joy, which is like athletics." So back when I was younger, I was an athlete all through primary and high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed it. I used to get all types of medals. And so
Okay.
he was like, go back into sports. And so I went back into
Mm.
sports, and I used to run every week with a team, and that brought me back so much joy. So finding that, okay, you need to have like a plan, almost like a plan for what you want to change or what you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So getting into a routine with the
Yeah.
sports,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me sort of, okay, all right, so I've got this routine now. What else do I want to implement or execute in my life that will be purposeful? And so I started adding more things. Okay, let me go to this event, apply for more work, apply for that, speak to that person online. And so that was the first one. The second one in my 30s is who exactly do you want to be? I think who exactly do you want to be? Because it became a point of I'm not just a Nigerian living in the UK. I have a representation for my family. I have a representation for other Nigerians in the
Yeah.
diaspora. Like I'm not saying I'm an idol. But I just feel
Yeah.
like every black person, you
Yeah.
are a representative for your community, and you have to put your
Yeah.
best foot forward.
Yeah.
And so
True.
I just
Mm-hmm.
added more purposeful, intentional things into my life, and so those are the two things I can think of right now.
Okay. So, okay, I need you to tell us who were your pillars. I know you say your family, but who in particular that till tomorrow you when you think back, you're like, if this person was not there, I don't know what I would have been.
I have many of that, and I think they even change over time. I feel like when Fumi Yonda was someone I looked up to when I was really young.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah. So
Is she still?
she's still around.
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember her.
Fumi Yonda.
Yeah,
funny.
is she still in Is it NTA?
I don't think so. No.
No,
in
she's
NTA
not.
anymore.
No.
And I met her once.
Slim. Yeah,
Very,
she's
amazing
very,
journalist.
yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so, Sonny Rabo.
Oh,
someone else I
yeah.
also looked up to.
Okay.
And then international space, I think Ryan Seacrest was someone I
Oh
looked up
yes,
to.
yeah,
That was something.
Same year I grew up.
So it was,
Yeah.
and then in terms of even music or creative arts, Beyonce and
Okay.
Usher were people that I also looked up to. Beyonce is so hardworking and she's so inspiring, and it's like wow, this like the levels of work that she puts in to her craft, inspiring. Obama is also someone very inspiring. It's
Yeah.
like this black man who rose up to power and led America for 2 terms. Now, when I think of now, who is Ryan Coogler? That's someone in the
Okay,
creative
yeah.
arts director. Very, very
Yeah,
inspiring.
yeah. Yes.
Very, very inspiring. I think that those are the people. I forgot Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey. So
What about Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
Yes, that's also
yes, good, yeah.
a great director and writer. Oprah Winfrey significantly changed my life in such a
Oh, wow.
phenomenal way. Because
Mm.
around my mid 20s, early late 20s, that's when I found some conversations which was happening with Eckhart Tolle, who is this inspirational teacher, writer. And I remember I used to like literally stay up nights just listening because she had a series with him on YouTube now, which is about his book
Mm.
called The Awakening. I think that's what it's called. And so they would have conversations about um they would have conversations about presence and about
Mm.
who you are, like
Mm.
finding the truth in who you
You are.
are and letting go of all these self-limiting thoughts that you carry, because all these things, like I
Mm.
said, that they were projected onto me. I was
Yeah.
carrying them. I was carrying unnecessary cargo that
Oh.
I didn't need. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's about how to overcome all of those thoughts and sort of embrace the now and just
Mm.
focus on the now. And so
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
just, yeah,
Wow. That's amazing.
thank you.
Okay, so how do you unlearn um there are some things you would have believed in the past. So how do you unlearn them? Because I remember too when I first came to the UK, there were some things I had to unlearn because it's not the way we do things back in Nigeria. That's the way things have been done here. So how did you unlearn some certain behaviors?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think communication was one of the difficult ones for me. I didn't
Mm.
really know how to communicate with people, with adults, and with my peers because
Mm.
of I think my culture played a significant role in that. I
Okay.
just was not comfortable speaking to people, and so I had to
Mm.
unpack why I was having these feelings about not being
Mm.
able to communicate with
Yes.
people.
Mm.
Um, so that was one of the things I had to unlearn. I also had to unlearn how to like let go of thoughts that I didn't need or didn't. It's so crazy how you can be having thoughts in your
Mm.
head, but that's not
Mm.
what the other person is thinking of
Thinking.
you. That's not what
Mm.
like you just
Mm.
carry this
Mm.
weight that's
Mm.
unnecessary. So I had to unlearn that, and also like give myself and people grace. I had to learn that too because everyone has something they're going through, and
Mm.
sometimes if you're carrying this thought of this negative thoughts in your head and you're
Mhm.
projecting it to someone else,
Mhm.
they're going through something and
Yeah.
you're just going to make the interaction just clash and they will just be wondering what is going on and you'll be creating this crazy narrative in your head. So unlearning all of that and just being present, being intentional about, okay, what do I want to get out of this interaction? What do I want to make out of my life? What do I want? What is the purpose of this? What is the goal? What is the intent? And so I think moving that way
Mhm.
has significantly changed a lot of the
Change is the only constant thing, right?
things, right?
Were you scared? Because sometimes, right? Sometimes we tend to shift towards something that we are familiar with. So when there's a change, we sometimes we want to run back. You know what? I don't think I want this yet, or I'm not ready for this yet. So how has there ever been a time where you thought to yourself, I want to go back to the old version of me because this change, I don't think I can, this, I want to go back to something that is very familiar to me. Was there any point in time in your life
Definitely.
that you thought?
Definitely. When I was younger, now I'm so excited for change. Like
Mm,
I tell people now, I'm going to change. I don't. This who you're seeing now. I
mm.
don't know if you're gonna meet this next version of this
Oh,
person
yeah, that's
in a
that's
couple of
good.
years. Because I embrace change now so
Mm,
much because I know that I'm going to experience new things that are going to like
mm,
change me,
mhm,
evolve my mind, evolve my ways of living. But definitely in the past, I was very reluctant to change. I thought
mm.
changing was fake. You know, yeah, I
Oh,
thought if you change, oh, they're fake. That person is fake. You change, you changed on us. That's life. People change, people
change,
evolve,
that's
people
true.
grow, and I had to unlearn that. So I'm a very stubborn guy, and so I had to learn, unlearn change. Like change is a good thing, and change is needed and necessary.
Hmm. Okay, so I believe that every human, God created every human for a purpose. There's a reason. So when did you first realize yours? When did you first think to yourself, you know what? I'm not here to survive. I have a purpose. There's something that I am called to do or to fulfill. When did you first realize that?
I think I don't know if I had a specific moment where I
Mm-hmm.
realized, oh, okay, but I think, at least for the past couple of years now,
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt I've been feeling like my life is there's purpose in the sense of there's a reason for where everything is happening, and
Mm.
there is impact that can be
Hmm.
created, and there's impact that can be impactful to people who don't know as much, or who are younger,
Mm-hmm.
or who are even older. But there's impact. There's some impact in my story and in my life, and it's
Mm.
not in the sense of pride. I just feel like, and impactful in the sense of it's relatable and
Mm.
informative, so that you don't make the same choices that I make. You can learn from it, and you
Mm.
can also be inspired to make better, well-informed decisions for your life, because I feel like I'm an open book to some
Okay.
extent, and I want everyone to do better than me. I want them to like take what I'm giving and do better than me. And
Hmm.
in terms of even the moments, there wasn't a real moment. I just feel like when I saw people that inspired me, and I saw what they were doing, and I'm like, wow, this is so inspiring.
Mhm.
And I feel like if they're inspiring, because I feel strongly that what exists in me also exists in other people, and what exists in other people also exists in me.
Yeah.
If I can be inspired by you, there are other people who don't have access to what I'm receiving that can
Yeah.
also be
Be
inspired.
inspired
And it's
by.
that same message that's
Mm.
coming through. Young Love and Sense is also another person I really, really am
Mm.
inspired by.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, I think okay, like the beginning of what I said, when I started, I said that a purposeful life is not a marathon.
Mm.
Sorry, it's not a sprint.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
marathon.
marathon.
Yeah.
You continually walk in it. So, what do you do in your everyday life to, to make you continually walk in your purposeful life?
I consume a lot of content that are in alignment with who I am and who I want to be,
Okay.
to sort of remind myself.
Mm.
I don't do a lot of reading as much as I used to, which is
Okay.
something that I really want to get back into.
Okay.
But in substitute for reading, I watch a lot of content. I watch a lot of Oprah conversations, the Young Love and
Okay.
Sen conversations. I watch a lot of Deepak Chopra conversations. People
Okay.
who I know have inspired me, and I
Mm.
know that, like, okay, if I keep
Mm.
continuing to consume this content,
Mm-hmm.
I will remain in my path of
Mm.
purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and then doing things. Almost every year, I
Yeah.
always think of doing something new,
Oh, wow.
and that's a challenge. I'm always and now I'm finding that it has to be almost something I'm scared of.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what have you done this year?
This
What have you done this year? Or you're still planning it?
I'm still planning
Okay.
it. When it comes to
Okay, you're still
fruition, you
planning
say,
it. Okay.
um,
Okay.
but I think because everyone is their own ministry,
Mm-hmm.
and we see a lot of like celebrities and the biggest, most popular famous person
Mm-hmm.
in their ministry.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, at least maybe me, let me speak for myself. I
Mm-hmm.
think for a while I thought, oh, if I have a ministry, it has to be to that level, it has to be to that scale. But it really doesn't have to be to that scale at
No.
all,
Well,
because
yeah.
to some to
Yeah,
me
so
anyway,
yeah.
it doesn't necessarily need to be on that scale, because there are people around you that you could be inspiring. It could be my nephew, my nieces, my cousins,
Yeah.
my immediate friends,
Mm-hmm.
and their immediate friends, and
Yeah.
that's impactful, that's purposeful. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, because sometimes some people, their purpose could be like on the big
Exactly.
screen. Your Some other people, their own purpose could be a quiet one,
Exactly.
but doesn't mean one is better than the other.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I was having
Mhm.
a conversation with a podcaster maybe
Mhm.
2 years ago, and I was talking about purpose, and
Yeah.
they were like, so some people actually don't have a purpose. Some people exist in this world that don't have a sense of purpose.
Hmm.
And it's like, it's fine. It's okay that you don't feel like you have a sense of purpose.
Mhm.
However, there is something in your life that's calling you to do something.
Something,
You're just
yes.
not
That's
aware
true.
of it, and you're probably putting it to a scale of, oh, if it is not this, if it doesn't look like this, then it
Then it's
cannot,
not.
then it's
Yeah.
not. But everyone's ministry in this life is different.
Yeah. Yeah, just like saying some people want to be very rich, but some people just want to be comfortable. They don't want to be so much, they just want to probably maybe like have a house, a car, and that's it.
And that's
They're
it. That's
okay.
it. Yeah.
But some people want to have the private jet.
Yeah.
Some people want to have,
Yeah.
mansions. Some
And
people,
you
yeah.
having that house, you're inspiring so many people
Yeah,
that they're
that's
like, I
true.
want to have a house.
House, yes,
So,
like that
and this is
too.
like how you successfully made millions.
Yeah.
And people are looking at you, they're like, oh, that's amazing. That's such a
Yeah.
passionate, purposeful person. I want to
Yeah.
be that too. So there's levels to
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
purpose.
also as much as you are impacting one person, at least one person should say, you know what, by this person's life, I have, I have been touched, I've been
Yeah.
inspired, I've been blessed by this person's life. That's true. That's true. So purpose is completely different from one person
Yeah.
to another. And how you go about it too is completely different.
Yep.
That's true. Okay. So now, as usual, when you are starting anything, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes. So because sometimes you ask yourself questions, can I? Can I? So step into your purpose. Was it terrifying or was it an easy walk in the park?
Yeah. It's funny. I've always one of the earliest things I've always wanted to do was create a platform where people can create content.
Okay.
So I remember right from like
wow.
19, I created like a website, and I was
Okay, yes, because you're a content producer too.
Yeah, content
Okay, yes, that's true. Yeah, so if you want to produce a content, it's a content producer. Yeah, that's
so
true. Okay.
that's always one of the goals, to have a network of. That's actually one of my goals, to have a network, a platform where I'm elevating people. And I've
Okay.
always had that in my mind. I remember
Oh,
from as
wow.
young as 19,
Oh wow.
19, 20, I had a website where I had people, friends. I had some amazing friends who
Yeah.
they were not even with me, around me. They were in different continents. And I just reached out and was like, hey, I have a website, and would you be interested in blogging? And they would blog, they would write. And I always just had that. It went from my Afro world to Afro world hip hop. It's just been different. And so I think that's I believe that's your question, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I've always had this plan or purpose of being someone who creates opportunities for people. And that's how I am now. It might not, yes, how I am now. Every time I see someone doing something,
Yeah.
I like to create opportunities for them in terms of, I have this network now. That's
Yeah.
what I do. I do a lot of networking. That's so important. Because in
Yeah.
order to grow,
Yes.
one of my good friends says, in order to grow fast, you go alone. But in order to grow, I messed that up. In order to grow, basically, you need to grow together.
Yeah.
To reach
Networking,
yeah,
collaborating.
exactly.
Yes, collaborating and not competing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So, as part of growing up, especially growing up mentally and every other thing, right? Most times, you notice a change for yourself and other people too. So, how did your relationship with other people? How was it for you? How did it change? Because sometimes, okay, for example, because you want to live a purposeful life, sometimes you could have some friends that you have to draw because they are not, in the same frequency as you are.
Yeah.
So how did those kind of relationship, how did it change for you?
So like my relationship with friendship is really interesting, because like I said earlier, like I was with the same group of people in high school for like 6 years, and then
Yeah.
coming to the UK, it was different, and being able to sort of develop new friendships was very, very difficult. However, one thing I'm very, 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 I believe very strongly in is the people who are for you will always be for you.
Say it again, clock
And
it.
the people who are not for you, they are, no matter what you do,
Yeah.
no matter how,
they will disappear.
no matter how much you people please, they will not be there. And so that's something I've had to learn, because I know I was holding on to like my old friends for a very, very, very long time. I was holding on. I was like, we are like friends, the TV show. We're gonna have a couch and we're gonna do like the whole friend thing. We'll be in the cafe. That's not the real life, and it's nothing personal. Everyone is different and going through their own stories. In terms of like, so that's one of the things I had to learn. Like, people are different, and even though you've spent years together. You didn't necessarily choose to spend years together. You were in school together, so you were stuck with each other. But then the older you get,
I
the
mean,
more
friends by proximity because they are around.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're around each
yeah,
other. But then the
yeah.
older you get, the more you're able to discern who are the people for you,
Mm.
and then you have different categories for the people, because there are some that they are the everyday friends, and there are some that like the monthly or yearly, and there's no weirdness about it. So even understanding like the levels of friendship and that is important too. So in terms of change, the people that are for you, they will be there because they're happy for everything that you are. They're happy for everything that you're going to be. They're happy to support you in all of your journey. And some of them are even waiting for you. I had one family member who, growing up, I was their sounding board, and also because of the dynamic of they were older and I was younger,
Yeah.
and so they would just tell me their issues or their stories, whatever's going on in their life, and I was their sounding board. But I didn't even think at the time that they were there to for me. I thought I was there for them because I'm younger. They just tell me everything. But then growing up, the dynamic has then become, Ola, what's going on in your
Oh,
life?
yeah.
I've always been waiting for you to share. You were just so shy and scared to tell me what's going on in your life. They were waiting for me to. So that's part of life, and being able to identify your people, your chosen
Yeah.
people, because friends are the family you choose.
Okay, like you just said now, like when your transformation, when it happens, you understand it. You know it because
You don't
that's
even know it
what you
sometimes.
want. You get. That's what you want. You wanted that. You wanted a transformation in your life. You wanted a change. Now, did other people around you, did they understand? Because it's one thing for you to know that you are changing, you are becoming the best version of yourself. And then it's another thing for someone else to actually understand it. Sometimes when you hear people say, I don't understand you anymore, you are changing. Because sometimes it means, oh, you are not doing what we do anymore, or your mindset and my mindset is not the same
Yeah.
anymore. So did other people understand?
No, not every time, and not every time. And I can also be honest that
Okay.
there's a lot of times that I did make some decisions that, because context matters. I'm Nigerian, and I'm always going to be a Nigerian man, and that plays a significant factor in every decision.
Yeah.
It's like Nigerian Yoruba man, Nigerian. So that plays a significant impact or role in every decision I make. And so there have been situations where I did change,
Okay.
and absolutely everybody was against it, and everybody was like, nah.
Why? Why?
Because they knew the best version of me. So sometimes your chosen people know the best version of you before
true.
you.
Yeah, true.
So
True. Because those are the people that will live with you every day.
so they know the best version of you.
Yeah, that's true.
And even though they do have the best intent, so there's two sides to everything. They know the best version of you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it can also be self-limiting in that you cannot be anything but the version of them that they have of you.
That they have, yeah.
So you then have to then choose, okay, weigh the pros and cons of, okay, so who you think I am, this version of me, who actually is this version of me, and is that in alignment with who I really am? So sometimes it could be wrong, and sometimes it could be right. In my case, in some situations they were right, and in a lot of other situations they were not right.
So was there a time that they clashed?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely, yes, definitely a lot of disagreements and moments of not understanding. But you just have to like give yourself grace, and time is wonderful in that time really does heal, and then you come to a place where there's better understanding. You're able to express yourself better, because sometimes, like I said, I'm so stubborn, and I was very stubborn. The older I get, I'm dropping out because it's pride, it's ego. And so dropping all that, so you start to realize, okay, it's just misunderstanding.
Okay.
Being able to communicate better, communicate the actual intent. What is the goal?
Okay.
And sometimes you don't have to tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
true.
can change in a way that you don't necessarily need other people's opinion to, or you don't. Yeah, you can just change in the way that best suits you, and don't even but while experiencing and being open to people's feedback, just try and be in alignment with yourself and source, and like, and really really ask yourself, what is the purpose of this choice?
Mm. Mm. Okay. Yeah, you did mention that you were stubborn several times. So I want you to tell us one stubborn thing that you did that your parents were like, Ola, we can't believe you did this. Oh, why?
I really wish I could. I can't. I really wish I could. But
Okay.
I was just very stubborn. I think one of the really, I remember one time I was with my family member and their kids, and we were moaning about, this boy does not help with the house. He does not help. And so I was telling my dad to like, this kid, he doesn't help. Like, he's just not helpful. And my dad is like, Olamide, like when you were younger, you wouldn't want to sweep the floor because you said you're too tall and you can't bend your back. And I was like, oh. It was like, so actually, shut up, Olamide. you were worse. So
Okay. If you could go back and speak to your younger self, that stubborn Ola, that one, then what would you tell
I'll
him?
tell him it's really not that serious, Olamide. Like, I'll tell him, Olamide, like, calm down. Nobody cares. It's not that. It's not. 'Cause I thought everybody cared about everything I was doing. Like, I was a superstar, and I was like, I was really main character energy, and so, and it's like nobody cares. Everyone is living their lives. Everyone has something going on in their life. You just focus on yourself. And I probably would have told myself to, like, I would tell myself, not because I feel like that's what you do a lot of the time. You're talking to your younger self, and you're soothing, you're complimenting, you're congratulating. So I would tell my younger self, like, you need to get over yourself and focus on what you need to do. I would also tell him to, I would tell him that you need to remember where you come from.
Yeah.
Because I forgot where I came from for a while. I really did.
Okay.
And sometimes you need to remember where you came from in order to know where you need to go. So I would tell him that, remember where you came from. Remember how difficult Nigeria is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So finish this sentence. Yeah. I became who I am today because I decided to dash, 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 dash. I became who I am today because I decided to.
I became who I am today because I decided to live in my truth. I decided to live in my truth and act intentionally towards making my desires and dreams come true. It's even us having a conversation right now. These are things that young me would be like, oh my God, I'm on a podcast and I'm sharing my it's wild. Like some of the things that happen in this life, there are things that you wishing. I was wishing my younger self would do all of these things, and now it's happening, and it's still continuing to happen because I'm living in my truth, and I'm also creating opportunities. So it's not every time that you have to wait for someone to give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
Creating this
create
podcast, like,
Yeah.
amazing, because sometimes they would say you're not enough, you're not the right person.
Yeah.
But it's like you can be who you want to be. And the great thing about social media is you don't even need the organization's accolade. You can create a whole community and they're going to give you the accolade because there's that they're getting access to what you have to share. So living my truth has really significantly, had a great impact in my life, and I'm hoping that I can have impact in other people's lives, and I'm hoping to continue to like explore and see all these new experiences and live a joyful, purposeful life. And hopefully by the grace of God, I'm able to like create impact.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
I mean,
welcome.
it's an eye opener for us all. Thank you so much for giving us an insight into how how you came into your purpose and how you started living a purposeful life. So on that note, I would actually also say that it doesn't matter what purpose look to you. It could be something one thing to you and another thing to someone else. As long as you find your own purpose, find your purpose, know your purpose, live in it every day. Remember, it's every day. You don't have to conjure up a very big one and think to yourself, you know what, I want to make this, it has to be elaborate, it has to be grand, you can start small from where you are. Know your purpose. Your purpose could be, you impacting 50 lives in your lifetime, and that's completely fine. Someone else's purpose could be impacting millions. That's completely fine. It doesn't change the fact that you are doing exactly what you are meant to do, because we are all created in God's image and God's likeness. And also, everyone is here for a reason. So your purpose is unique to you because of who you are. So we have been through Ola's journey. He has told us how he started when he came to the UK, and how it has been for him, the steps he took in order for him to be who he is right now. And I'm telling you and I'm assuring you that you can also fulfill your purpose. This is Conversations with ES. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thank you, Ola.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you.
That's good.